Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 107 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. I've spent about 2 or 3 hours, probably more, between last episode and this one working on computer craft code. Lucky you guys, you don't have to watch it. Ha! So what did I do? Kind of changed around a little bit of the features of my drone control program. Most of the stuff is still the same. I've rearranged the main menu a little bit to try and make it look a little bit nicer. I've added a couple commands. I've modified a couple things the way they work. So why don't I start off this episode by just showing you a couple things that are different. Most of what we've defined so far is similar. We just rearranged a few things, right? So the first couple things are set around like moving, right? Come here, go home, go to, set area, right? So we can easily say like come here and the drone will come here. Everything works the same way there. Dig and build were placed next to each other along with item pickup and attack and entity pickup and entity drop. These are commands that allow you to pick up entities like sheep or players or drop them on the ground. Pretty cool. And then get items and get pick and item chest. These are the 3 commands that relate to the chest. So basically movement commands followed by action commands followed by chest interaction commands. Then we have a stop command. This won't cause the drone to stop moving. Like if it's already moving from point A to point B, he'll continue. But if he's in the middle of building or if he's in the middle of digging, he'll just stop whatever he's currently working on. Teleport used to be something that was a thing that, kind of would teleport him to the currently set area. Now it's a toggle. So when it's turned on, any of the commands up here will force him to teleport instead of just flying. And when it's turned off, he'll try and fly if he can, and he'll teleport as a last result if he can't find a valid path. And then set chest and set home. I've added the set home command. I'm going to set his home on top of the charging station. So first, let's set the area and reset. And then I want him to be right on top of it. So let's make this a move. Y-1. Cool. So that's going to be his home now, right? Now, if I set home, in the past, this was like hard-coded in the program. Now you can set it up in the program with just the interface, so you don't have to edit code for that part of it. The other cool thing is that, let's see, clear, right? I made it so that whenever you do that, it writes the home coordinates to a file so that every time you reboot, you'll notice the home command still exists. So set home is still there. So every time you reboot the program or relog, you don't have to reset the home. And the same for set chest. For example, if I have a chest on me, and we'd come over here and tell this guy, for now we'll tell him to go home and check on his status. How's he doing? He should start filling up now that he's back at his home position. Nice. And then if we go to set area, reset, and I'm going to move that down 1, 2, and I'm going to set chest. Cool. We should see that there is a chest coordinates written there. Cool. So that, again, the chest persists, right? So when they're green, it means they've been set. There's a chest in a home position set somewhere. We can check on a status. If we want to show chest, you'll see that it'll show you the position of the chest for a couple seconds. And the other cool thing about that is if you have an area set, so for example, if I set an area here, and regardless of what size it is, so let's say like I expanded it a little bit, right? If I wanted to briefly just get a status of, hey, where's your chest? Boom, it's going to show it. And then 2 seconds later, it sets the area back to the way it was. And the same for the show home command. It shows his home position and then back to the area again. Cool. That's a 2-second delay. Might bump it up to 3, but we'll see. I mean, it looks pretty cool. So again, I can tell him to come here and he'll fly over. And if I tell him to go home, he'll go back home. And if I toggle teleport mode on and say come here, it should force him to teleport to the position I was at. Sweet. And if I tell him to teleport home, he'll do the same. And I'll toggle teleport mode off so that, he doesn't keep teleporting all over the place. So now when I say come here and go home, he'll just fly. Nice, right? So those are the basic functions of the program, in addition to the things we saw last episode. For now, I think we're in a pretty good position. Oh, also the status screen here shows the last action executed, so you can see go to. And it also shows the home and chest coordinates in the world, as well as his current position. It used to show current position, but it never showed home and chest before. So that It's pretty neat. I'm excited about this, as you can probably tell, because I think it's really neat. I'm having fun writing this code and having a little bit of fun with drone programmable stuff. Remember, teleports, by the way, will use a full bar of pressure. So I think what we're going to do now is kind of like leave the drone there. He's doing a great job. Come here. Yeah, he just chills and does his thing. And then go home. He will also just chill and do his thing. Nice. I'm going to come back in a minute and get ready to work on some other stuff for the episode. So I'll see you guys in a moment. All right, guys, if we want to have a higher pressure system, we are going to need advanced pressure tubes, which require a pressure chamber valve in the assembly controller. 4 of them yields 8. So let's go get some. Pressure chamber valves, as we know, we should probably set up auto-crafting for. So chamber valve, we don't have auto-crafting for, so we're going to do it real quick because Dyer likes to auto-craft things. That's something we've learned by now, I'm sure. So let's get about 10 or so. We'll do 20 this time. Just been trying to cut back on material costs because I really need to manage my materials still for some reason. I overdid it, I guess. And then we want to put 4 of these downstairs. So in here, we can place 4. And this thing should start cruising. Nice. You go there, laser cuts them, and then we get the advanced pressure tubes. Cool. And once we've got that, we can set the A system and teach it how it works. Also, I should add advanced pressure tubes to the import bus. See, there was a reason I had that capacity card in there. So now you're allowed to import pressure tubes into the A system. Briefly, we will teach this thing that 1, 2, 3, 4 yields 8. Encode that, and into here, let's see which chest has the encoded pattern for that. This should work. So you go here, and we're now down to 5 autocraftable things. So if I wanted to autocraft some more advanced pressure tubes, so for example, 20 of them, that should be pretty straightforward, right? So the pressure chamber will take care of getting me the compressed iron. We'll convert that into all kinds of cool stuff, and everybody's happy, right? Yeah, nice. Looking good. We've already handled 1 set. And now another set comes in. Awesome. Cool. All right, so now let's see about using these things. All right, so I'm going to get myself a regulator tube module, and I think we should also snag, for example, a lever, and while I'm here, also an advanced air compressor. Oh, I need an existing air compressor? Okay. Let's get like 40 of you. Then we should be able to quickly make one of these guys and get the advanced version of it. Nice. So for the time being, I'm probably going to depressurize our system by doing this, but that's okay. So let's break this thing. Oh, I guess we're not depressurizing it. Oh, cool. My system is built in such a way that it just didn't depressurize. That is hilarious. Not intended, to be sure, but okay, that's cool. That works for me. So what we need basically here is 2 systems, right? One that can handle pressures like up to 5 max, right? Typically right around 4, 4.5. But other systems in our network are going to need more pressure, up to 20 if we really want to go crazy, right? So some things obviously can get up to 5, others can get up to 20. We're going to want to separate these. Right now, really the only thing that I can have going up to 20 is the charging station. So I'm debating just moving this guy. And yeah, we can let this area depressurize because I really want to kind of test this whole thing out. So maybe we'll put the charging station over here, right? And this side of the room, maybe back in this corner or something, will be where we kind of depressurize things. So let me pick up my drone. Put them in here as well. By the way, yeah, we don't want to do that because that's just going to leak out. Let's dig into the floorboards. All right, guys, I've just torn up all my pressure tubes, and I'm probably going to ask for, well, hopefully I have enough to get going here, but we'll see. So advanced pressure tubes, cool stuff. Let's lay the foundation for the advanced pressure tube system that we're going to have. So basically what we want to do is advanced pressure tubes, A, can store more pressure and more air in volume than regular pressure tubes, which means two things. One, they won't explode at 5 bars. They will explode, or at 20. Yes, that's correct, 20, not 5. That's cool. The other cool thing about them, put this way so we can pick that up. Anything else I don't need at the moment? Kind of. We'll see. We're good for now. The other thing that's important to note about these things is that they transfer air quicker. What that means is that basically you saw how long it takes for air to get transferred or piped out of the air compressor into the, there we go, that looks cool, out of the air compressor and into the machines. Well, this will transfer the air faster. So, you know, think of it along the lines of like RF per tick, right? It transfers faster in addition to being able to transfer more before it hits the exploding point. However, because it can transfer more before it hits the exploding point, we need to be prepared for the fact that there are probably going to be machines that can't handle the high pressures that these pipes are capable of transferring. So I'm just kind of tidying up down here. What we're going to want to do is regulate them. So I'm going to add a regulator. One of these guys. Sweet. And let's see. I have to figure out how to place this thing. So I think we want to put it like, I'm always like struggle with the placing of the regulator. Let's see if I can get it properly worked out. Do I put it like there? Nope. Can I wrench this off? All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to figure this out. All right, guys, I think I got this. If we place this guy here and then this here, then this thing should regulate. Now, one more thing I want to make is an advanced PCB. This will give us some more control over things. So what I'm going to do is advanced PCB. So I'm probably going to need some yellow flower dye stuff. And I'm going to want 2 of these in the end. So let's just do that. 1, 2. And we can put these ones away. I had them and then I realized I needed the advanced version. So let's do this. If we go into here and we place an advanced PCB on the pressure tube, which I think just goes like that, then I should have a UI that I can access. Maybe I need the drill. All right, morph was the culprit there. So we want to lower this to, let's see, we'll put this one at 0. We want to set this to 5. We'll make it 4.5. That sounds good. Cool. So current threshold 4.5, right? So without a redstone signal, our threshold's 4.5. Okay, so I just realized that higher and lower relates to a high redstone signal and a low redstone signal. So right now, I'll set both to 4.5. So regardless of whether there's a redstone signal there, yes or no, the threshold will be 4.5. So now let's connect up our tube. So what should happen now is if everything's working correctly, we should have a situation where these pressure tubes will stay at 4.5 and the ones back here will stay at 20. Let's get something that we can use to measure this. I'll put things away. So let's get a pressure tool that we can use to measure it, the manometer. Nice. This will help us to be sure that we're doing everything correctly. So we just get an air pressure canister, pressure gauge, and that's as easy as it is. Cool. We just have to charge this thing up, which unfortunately won't be that easy because we don't have any pressure at the moment, but we'll fix that in a minute. Let's, 1, 2, 3. I think I have just enough to do that. And then we'll make it a little bit fancier in a minute. So let's throw some coal in here. And in a moment, we will wind up automating it so it turns off again. Cool. Oh, the advanced air compressor, it looks like it has a temperature gauge. Cool, that's new to me. I guess it can accept temperature? Sweet. So what's our pressure bar at the moment? Let's throw a couple speed upgrades in there. Nice. So this thing should have a bar of pressure. If we throw this in here, it should balance out. That's enough for now. And if we check the pressure gauges, we're seeing 2.6 bars there. And that should be the same across the board. So pretty much everywhere we look should be around 0.6, 0.5. Obviously, it'll take a moment for the air pressure to equalize, but that's pretty cool. This guy's at 0.5. You should be right around 0.5. Awesome. That is cool. Let's throw a bunch of coal in there. And what we should see momentarily, and I'm going to get an even better thing for this. So you're all working. Cool. All right, guys, just learned something about the advanced air compressor. Let's actually get a couple of these. I'm interested in trying out the heatsink mechanic, and we kind of need it right now. So let's do compressed iron block. Hopefully we can craft one of these. Hopefully. If not, we might be in a little bit of trouble. But I think we have enough pressure inside the system to craft it. Nice. That's what I wanted to see. All right, so remember that heat meter on the advanced air compressor? Well, the higher the heat, the less efficient the air compressor becomes, to the point where it just doesn't even do anything. Look, I'm throwing coal in there, and like we're basically not getting anything out of it, even with a few speed upgrades in there. Not good. So nothing is changing because we are above this line. So this is the temperature line at which things start to get bad, and this is when things stop working, I guess. So we can place a heat sink on this. Oh boy, that is a hot temperature. And I guess it'll help to distribute the heat. Or I think what we can do is place some compressed iron, and you'll notice that we can then add heat sinks to it. Well, that's cool. And then the heat sinks will help to distribute the heat. So now that I'm aware of this mechanic, I might need to change something. But we can see the temperature rapidly dropping. Obviously, I could also throw the cold side of vortex, because negative 812,000 C is probably going to help cool things off pretty well. That's not terrible. There we go. Now our temperature is dropping. Cool. So we should be able to throw some more coal in there, and hopefully enough. So it is managing with 5 speed upgrades. That's cool. And we should be getting pressure, and it's continuing to drop. So that's also cool. Nice. That's kind of neat. I like that heatsink thing. That is awesome. I really have to play with the heat mechanics in Numenicraft now, because that's cool. You can use these iron blocks, by the way. Like if I hooked up an iron block to the side of the vortex tube, like the block would get colder, I guess, or hotter, and you could use it to transfer the heat from one vortex tube to multiple machines. That's cool. So let's see here. We are currently approaching a decent number of bars, which is neat. Let's throw 6 in there and see if we're still losing heat or if we're balancing out. That's not terrible, but it's also not great. So let's see, 4.5 bar, right? So let's see what happens. What we should see happen, if I set everything up correctly, is you're at 4.6, and you're at 4.3. That's cool. So we'll give this thing just a few moments more to kind of balance out the pressure, but you're already up to 5, which is neat. Cool. And we're also out of coal almost, which is fine. I kind of don't mind that it's almost out of coal. So you're at 5.9. Cool. We haven't heard any explosions yet, so that's a really good sign. Oh, look at that, 4.5 bars. Perfect. So my regulator tube is doing exactly what it's supposed to. It's allowing high pressure on this side and low pressure on this side, and nothing over here is going to ever get above 4.5 bars. How nice is that? And then as machines run over here, we're going to have all kinds of cool stuff happening. So let's snag some of this redstone, because I want to regulate and automatically turn things off when we get to a certain temperature. just like we had before, but I need to consider how that's going to work in a moment. So let's see. Oh, cool. Our temperature is rapidly dropping because we're out of coal. Heat sinks are doing their job, which is nice. I really like how they render red when they're active. That is neat. And we're good here. So, for example, if I requested some more advanced pressure tubes, start. So you'll notice this thing does a very good job of staying at 4.5. I could probably even throw some more speed upgrades in this thing. And like, yeah, it'll use some pressure, but I mean, it's not bad at all. That is cool. Nice. And again, that side stays right where it's supposed to be, which is right around 4.5. Awesome. So think of this almost like a transformer. Oh, manometer doesn't have any charge. Better fix that. All right, we'll come back in a minute. Let me rearrange this thought process of how this is going to work. All right, guys, next thing I want to try requires a rotor. So I just made one. I want to check out the Flux compressor. This is a compressor that runs off RF instead of running off coal, which is cool by me. Also, we happen to have a conduit line right nearby that we can tap right into, which is pretty good for me. So let's hook that up, shall we? I'm going to take you, and we're basically gonna want to do this. That should be cool. That's not terrible, right? It works. And we're going to remove this and put on this. Neat. So you should manage to get RF. Don't tell me there's only one side that we can accept power from, because that would make me an unhappy dyer. Oh, I think it's the top too, isn't it? Oh, it would be the top, wouldn't it? It would be the top, wouldn't it? Mine, Martin. Shaking my fists at you. It's all right. I have an idea for this. This actually isn't terrible. We'll just run it parallel to that thing. That's cool. So you should be getting RF now. Yes, RF is flowing in. Cool. So we've got the same temperature deal. This typically relates to the number of speed upgrades. So basically, the more speed upgrades you put in, the more temperature, or the more quickly temperature builds up. So maximum RF usage 40, maximum input rate 80, current stored. Cool. So yeah, produces heat. No problems at the moment. Pressure's climbing. I'm going to set this guy to a low signal so that if he's receiving a redstone signal, he doesn't run. And I'm going to throw my speed upgrades in there, which will obviously accelerate the maximum RF usage and input rate, 2720. Cool. That's fine because it's going to handle 5,000, so we're cool. But you can see the temperature climbing pretty quickly. So let's get our compressor iron stuff down here to help keep this thing cool. So I might want a couple blocks of compressed iron. Let's get 2 more of those while we're at it, shall we? So you're building up temperature, which means you're doing a bad job of pressure balancing. Let's get a lever on here. Because the last thing I want is an explosion while I'm figuring this out. And then block of compressed iron, which should quickly get hot. Hot, hot, hot. And I'm going to throw another block of compressed iron there. Or 2 maybe, because it should be able to transfer it down the line. So you can see the temperatures right around 137. If I pop this guy down here, we're right around 135, and then the heat sinks should help to deal with that. So I'd like to kind of keep them under the ground. And now that I'm kind of getting the feel for how this thing works, I'm more comfortable and will probably be able to do more things with it. Cool. So is 3 heat sinks going to be enough to handle this? So currently the temperature is dropping, obviously. That's neat. Now if I were to turn this on, is the temperature going up or down? It's going up. About 1 a second. Cool. Now here's something I want to try. Getting some water buckets, because apparently this might help cool things off. So I would like to put water right here. That's adjacent to that, right? Cool. Now how's the temperature doing? Still going down pretty well. So the heat sinks being adjacent to water should help. Keep things cool. So we'll do that for now. So those two should keep things cooler. Yeah, we're doing pretty good there. So now if I flip this lever on, we're still climbing in temperature, but I'd be interested to see if this balances out at some point. All right, I'm trying one more thing, guys, just for fun. I want to see if gelid cryothium dust is going to do any better for us. So let's put this blizz powder that I just made away. This should get me some gelid cryothium buckets, and I'm interested to see if this cools things off faster. So you're currently hanging out there. Let's flip you on and give you some gelid cryothium. Yeah, it's not helping too much. All right, guys, I've been doing a little bit of experimentation. Cryothium does cool it a bit, but it's really not worthwhile from what I've been able to tell. Just my experimentation and playing around with it. So I'm going to stick with the heat sinks that I've been using thus far. So you can see I had everything turned off here so that I could pretty much run this as much as I wanted to without it exploding. So that was cool. Where did I put my conduits? There you go. And you. So we'll set this redstone behavior to low, and it should start getting energy. And if we throw some speed upgrades in there again, it should heat up. But with the heat sinks touching the compressor, it's definitely going to be, you know, more rapid cooling. So heat sinks on the side of the compressor, better than heat sinks 1 block away from the compressor, better than heat sinks 2 blocks away from the compressor, etc., etc. So this should be pretty good. We'll see. I'm guessing it'll get to a temperature where it balances itself out and stabilizes, but we'll keep an eye on it. I'd like to kind of keep air around this thing. I'm not sure if having air directly around it is going to help or not, but we'll see. So I want to let this thing run for a minute and see where things go. In the meantime, let's also set this thing to disable itself when it's done. What do you say? I should be able to throw this guy on here. And I'm hoping that the redstone signal can directly affect it. So we want to emit a redstone signal when we're at, let's make it like 4. Does that turn you off? It doesn't seem to be. But are you emitting redstone? Yes. Oh, you stink. I actually do have to run a redstone wire to this thing. So you're emitting redstone, but you're not affecting the block directly adjacent to you, huh? And I'm assuming then that a redstone signal running into this guy won't actually work, will it? Nope, he's still on. And you are set to low, right? Not any? Yeah. Kind of stinks. How's my temperature doing? It's sitting right around 72, so that's not bad. I want to enclose all this and see if having not air around it is going to make that worse a bit. Because, I mean, eventually we want this room to be nice looking, right? So we'll put a cover there, but yeah, you're staying right at 72, so that's good. I like that. That's cool. Nice. So we should probably turn this off at the moment. High signal means you'll stop, and then the heat will quickly dissipate. Cool. So that's good. That works for me. These heat sinks configured as they are good. Let me just figure out how I'm going to run wire into the compressor here, and then we will be pretty much ready to wrap up. Wonder if something affecting, for example, this block. Would that affect? Yeah, see, it's running now. Interesting. So I wonder if I moved you, put you down here one. All right, we want to put our PCB back in. 4.1. Not currently running, are you? Nope. But we've probably got yeah, let me figure this out. All right, guys, I think I've got this working. I went ahead and threw some insulated redstone conduits and hooked it up to the pressure gauge, and I set it to lower 14.1, higher 15.1. So when we hit 15.1 bars of pressure in here, it should... Nope, okay. So yeah, I think I should make it then lower 15. There we go. Okay. Yeah, look at that. That's kind of working, right? So let's go like 17 to 18. That should probably get me up to 17 bars of pressure before it emits the redstone signal. There we go. Emitting redstone. Sweet. So this is the range, by the way. So remember, like, the pressure gauge emits a range between like 0 and 16, depending on the pressure, right? Signal strength. So by just doing this, it'll emit, you know, a different strength of redstone. But that's cool, because see how it's working now? So this thing should no longer be running. And if we lost pressure, it would. So that looks pretty good to me. And our heat sinks are working as well. So that is awesome. So I call this a relatively completed build. Yeah. No, I think it looks good, right? So we've got the heat sinks here going down, obviously this staying in decent temperature. And as we use pressure, right, we will wind up just dealing with it, right? So that's cool. So the manometer got to 10. So if I throw the drone in here, he should quickly start transferring pressure over. And this thing will turn on in a moment here as needed because the pressure is going to drop. Sweet. That is cool. And this thing will stay at the appropriate pressure. I like that quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Let's grab just a few more speed upgrades for this thing. I'm just going to craft 10 more. But in reality, just before we wrap up the episode, I'm going to steal these. And I'll just throw, like, you in there. That should be cool. Nice. So this thing's wobbling. Its temperature's going up because it's running at the moment. Oh, that is cool. But it's keeping everything where it's supposed to be. Nice. Yeah, this thing's quickly getting its pressure into the 10s. Nice. Look at that. That is awesome. This system is totally working beautifully. Everything is doing what it should be. And it actually looks pretty nice. Once I fill in some holes and stuff around here, we should have a halfway decent looking room. Awesome. This stuff is all separate, by the way, still, but I may convert this later. Max pressure on the vortex tubes is 20, so I could probably just run high pressure directly over to these guys, and that should work just fine. Maybe we'll look at doing that later. For now, how's everything going, by the way? I haven't even looked at how much plastic I have, but hopefully it's a lot. Yeah, 384. That is awesome. That is very cool. So just a couple covers and things to put around here, and I should be in pretty good shape. I might even have a hollow stone cover I can just slip on there real quick. I don't even care about the pressure because I've got such an awesome amount of it. So this thing will quickly rebuild itself. Awesome. And then I can throw my speed upgrades in again. Dispenser upgrades. Oh, you know what? I think I know why. Did my drone lose his inventory? No, he didn't. Okay, so yeah, I don't know where I got these extra dispenser upgrades from. We'll figure it out. All right, for now, Direwolf 20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will come back next time and have a whole bunch of fun. All right, guys, take it easy.